Okay. It is time to now do some visual things, like make an animation heads-up display. And we're going to start out dead simple. So, oh, I was just in the right place and I skipped away from it. So if we're in developer mode, you know, we do stuff like, all right, here's where we call out to whatever we draw. We'll say the animation, oh, we have a draw debug view. Where is draw debug view? In debug draw, okay. Didn't know I had that. Oh, for shadow maps. Okay. If debug draw animation, do draw animation. All right. So we're going to go into main. Well, let's copy this for a second. We're going to, oh, actually, we have a subfile for our animation stuff. So we're going to go into here, and we're going to load if developer load animation HUD. And we're going to have a do draw animation HUD, and it's just going to be empty. Why do I call it do draw? I don't know. It's just empty. Print drawing animation. All right, SVN add source animation HUD. You know what I'm going to do for a second? Because I've been adding lots of new files and stuff. Once in a while I make a mistake there. So I'm going to go over to my laptop where you can't see. And I'm just going to update the game and make sure that all the files are checked in and that it compiles and runs and stuff. So wait, it doesn't compile for some reason, did I not? I didn't compile it here. Okay, because I didn't make that variable. Fine. Debug draw animation is a bool. Okay, compiles here. Add missing variable. Back on the laptop. And it compiles on the laptop, that's good. And it runs on the laptop. And my guy's running around. And all the work that we did still works. So I like it when that happens. Okay. That is good. It is good. So now you'll note this printout is not happening yet because this variable is not set to true. So we want to go into the key map. And we'll make F9 toggle debug mode animation. I don't know why I'm defining separate procedures for this. I should probably just use console commands to toggle variables, which is what these do. But whatever. I'm just doing it. Where is toggle debug mode? It's in player control. Why is it in player control? I don't know. Like, why are these? Oh, it's because, Well, yeah, okay. Whatever. We'll move it later. So when I hit F9, at the bottom it should start doing print statements. Yep, drawing animation HUD. And then it's not anymore. Okay, so that's fine. Why did F9 do something to my program? All right, commit, add F9 to toggle animation HUD. So now we actually have to draw things. Let's go to our other. It's been a while since I drew text on the screen. So we have a different HUD file, which is our general game one. So let's go to this one. And we'll say we're rendering in unit scale, which is how we do text for some reason. Draw faders. Yeah. We're probably going to want the current time at some point. None of this matters. And what font are we using? I don't know, but then we're calling draw text. Yeah. Where does that font variable come from? Editor fader font. Well, oh, it's on the fader. Okay. So I'm going to say this. Scope, file, font, dynamic font. If we have no font, we set the font to be not particularly big. Okay. Text, hello animation sailor, and we do this get string width in pixels. We got to say where we want to draw it. So we get the width in pixels of the text. Effect is no effect, it's just regular text. And then our y coordinate is going to be we're going to put f's here. What is dy in the other thing? Oh, that's nothing. So we're just going to do this. And okay. Let's do this. So typically I draw text twice. I draw like a backing text that is a little bit darker. I may factor that into something later. This F is capitalized. Number mismatch, signed versus unsigned. All right. Actually, yeah, it's a U32. No background color. Right, so we have to decide what colors we're drawing this in. Those are vector 4s, I guess. So bg color is a vector 4 of 0, 0, 0. We'll give it an alpha of like 0.5. fg color 0.7111. No, it's not called fg color, it's just called color. Okay. Maybe something will appear on the screen. Hello, animation sailor. Okay. That's fine. I can toggle that. Let's get rid of this now. Let's put it higher up. Let's just say animation. And let's see what fonts we have. Sokoban data fonts. We got a bunch. Yeah. Let's use Open Sans because we're going to be drawing this potentially small. Animation. All right. That's good. Anytime you can get something to toggle on the screen bound to a key press, you are already winning. Any questions about what happened there? Well, I get a little bit of candy bar because of that. So the next thing to do is I'm going to want to draw animation overlays on all the characters, which means I have to like unproject their position from the screen and all that, which I don't totally remember how to do, so that's going to be entertaining. But here's what I'm going to do. I want to say for so I'm going to get the entity manager for manager by type dot guy. This will iterate over every guy. We later may want to do all entities or other entities, but for now we're just concerned about animating guys. And we're going to say draw animation info for the guy. Draw animation info. We'll just say it's an entity, right? And not do anything. Whoops, this is supposed to be a dot. All right. Yeah, I mean, if you're not paying that much attention, you're not going to have questions, and that's fine. I mean, I don't know who's going to sit here and watch this stream and pay full attention for hours. Maybe some people do, but I think a lot of people just hang out and chat or whatever. Maybe some people wait for it to show up on YouTube and then watch it 2x speed or something. I don't know. I don't know how people watch these. hey, look, this file's 41 lines, which means we already did 4 days of work at the industry standard 10 lines of code per day in the past 15 minutes or however long it's been. Industry standard, did I say, yeah, 10 lines of code per day? Again, that counts blank lines, so it's not totally fair. And this isn't shipping code, so it's not totally fair, but come on. I do tend to upload most things to YouTube. Okay. Oh, Twitch has a speed up option as well. I did not know that. I did not know that. All right. So, what am I doing now? What am I doing now? Okay. So, I want to. My first goal is just, I'm going to make sure that I'm successfully back projecting the guy with the right matrix and all that, because I'm going to want to draw like the bones on the guy, and I'm going to want to draw some annotation text. In fact, a good first goal will be to draw just the name of the animation state that the guy is in right now under the guy. That will be good success. But even before, well, let's do that. Okay. And let's draw it in a fixed position so that the text is correctly on the screen. And then we'll worry about back projecting it. I like that. I like that. Okay, so we're going to say S is E dot, oh shoot. We have to cast him back up to guy. Oh no, don't we? Let me see. Animation state is a thing on guy. You know what? Let's put that on entity. Because we're going to want to animate other entities. But no, you know what? Okay, we're going to do it on guy for now, because this is going to be a little bit involved. And I'd rather not do that work until I put animation state on a different entity type. Because then I'll be approaching the problem for real. I don't want to do this like faux abstraction that people do when they don't really know what they're doing. So I'm going to say guy is a guy, refactor, make draw animation info, take an entity instead of a guy, which will involve factoring animation state onto entity. Okay, that's fine. We'll do that. So guy dot animation state dot animation state. I'm taking a pointer to that. We'll call that AS because that's what we did in that other routine. And let's go back and look at that. You know, this should really be, I meant to move this into the other file. This should be in graph because all of this is specific to graph now. Let's make sure that compiles. Yeah. Let's make sure that runs. Okay. Okay, so we've got our pointer, the animation state, and we have this node name, and I guess this only happens in developer, so we can use the node name. So I'm just going to say name is as.node name. And we're just going to have some x and y coordinates that are hard-coded now to x back buffer width times O.1, y is back buffer, are we using height? Yeah, back buffer height times O.4. And then we're just going to draw some text at those coordinates. So I'm going to factor out this get shadow offset so I don't copy paste it. Get shadow offset font dynamic font to int. Colon equal that. So then we'll do that down here as well. X, OX. Oh no, we don't do it that way. We say when we draw the text, we're just going to say XY, or no. Foreground one, let's call this foreground color, background color, and x plus ox, y plus oy. No, it's the wrong way. We want the foreground to be in the right place. This, and then that will make it readable. And we'll do this. And let's call this foreground color as well. And the foreground color has to go on top because I'm not stupid. All right, we have no text. Oh, it's not called text. It's called, whoops, name, name, name. Integer versus float, right? Well, let's make it an int. Because we don't, like, if we had subpixel anti-alias text drawing, then it would make sense for x and y to be floats. But we do not, because we're using a method of text drawing that just, like, draws the bitmap down. And if you actually adjust that subpixel, it looks really bad. Okay, so I don't know what that's going to do. Hey, look, he's in state active, state walking, state active, state walking, state pushing, state pushing. And then now we've got two guys, and because we're not drawing these in the right place, we're not drawing them in the right place because we haven't done the unproject thing. But now that we do, we will know where to put them. What do I think about the Game Maker Studio engine? I don't know anything about it. It's probably fine if you want to get into making games. I don't know. Some people have definitely used it to good effect. I think Spelunky was made in Game Maker originally, so that's pretty good. All right. So now we just have to draw these in the right place. And how do we do that? Set matrix for entities. What is the matrix? So we're going to say I'm going to call these integer x and integer y, because we're going to have floating point x and y's that come out of the unproject operation. So we're going to say x, y are or project, not unproject, we're projecting. Project guy position guy. And that's going to just be casting to int x and casting to int y. Project guy position. Actually, let's call it project entity position, because this definitely doesn't need to be a guy. Project entity position. Okay, so this is fine. It still doesn't go to the right place because we just moved our hard-coded things into here. But now we've got a lone procedure that we can do this operation in. So this set matrix for entities stuff does the following things. And the thing is, it's going to muck with, all right, call set matrix for entities to grab the transforms, then render 2D so we can draw. Oh, you know what? Yeah, text and whatnot is. I would say that this is a total hack, except it's not, because we're gonna want we are gonna want to draw the bones in the transform space anyway. So we're gonna want to be rendering for a while in 3D. Okay, so we're gonna say 3D rendering time, and then 2D rendering time. You know what, let's not put that in a separate scope. Let's just do this. Okay. Set matrix for entities. Guy.entity manager. So the offset thing is a minor thing. It doesn't apply to any of the levels that we're playing right now, so we could handle that later. Let's just make sure we didn't break anything by doing that, and that we can still see our text. Yes, we can. That's good. So if I set matrix for entities, for the guy, now if I just start drawing stuff, it should go to where the guy is. And we're going to want to draw bones later. So for now, let's just draw a quad that faces up. I have various routines that draw quads. Well, so vector 2s, vector 3s with a normal, let's do that. We got to set the shader. Whoops. Make a quad facing up and draw it I'm going to say like the radius of the quad is like O dot 3. No, let's make it 1. It's going to be a 2 square wide thing. It'll be impossible to miss. I'm going to say P0, no, center, make, is vector 3, the center of the guy, but offset in Z by half a square. And then P0 is center plus V3 minus R 0, 0. Or no, minus R. P1 is plus R minus R. P2 is plus R, and P3 is minus R plus R. And we're going to go immediate begin, immediate flush, and between those we go immediate quad, P0, P1, P2, P3. The normal is going to be P3 is straight up the z-axis, and the color is going to just be a hard-coded alpha is 255, red is 0, green is full, blue is full. So like that, and we want to set the shader to like I don't know what this is going to do, because we're not really setting a lot of shader state. Let's just see what happens. Oh, it's not appearing. So that is not too surprising. It could be because it's upside down. Wow, it's not working. I want to see my quad. I want to see my quad. Why do I not see my quad? Is it because it's upside down? Or is it because I'm not setting enough shader state? Back. No. Oh, ARGB, no texture. So this should be double-sided and not care about texture UVs and stuff. Okay, so we still don't see it. I don't know if that shader uses this matrix. This is, so it's an interesting thing because, you know, this rendering engine was pretty basic. Like, it was a fixed function pipeline render at first, and then I expanded it to do shader-based stuff, which is more complicated. And then I haven't looked at that in a long time, so there's a little bit of a mixture going on. So I could pop open render doc and look at what the hell is happening. Let's do that, because we haven't done that in a long time. God, no. So this is O.33. I downloaded O.34 and tried to use it, and it like didn't work at all. I don't know what they're thinking. Okay, so C sokovan run 3 soko debug.exe. Can I save this? Whatever. Launch. Okay, so we're going to turn this on. Oh, look, now we see the quad for some reason. It's not in the right place, but it's at, okay, it's at world 0, 0. So something about render doc is messing with the state enough that we can actually see it. So what's happening though is we're not. We want something that actually uses the matrices. What happens if I do this? Okay, now we totally don't see it at all, but that's not necessarily surprising because the reason I didn't want to use Shader Basic 3D before is it's got all this weird state like skinning and stuff. And you have to like set bone indices on your vertex format, and it just gets complicated. So let's not do that. Let's transform these manually. So did it really just not show up here? Yeah, that's so weird. The problem with a Heisenbug like this is I'm not sure. Oh, now it's not showing up anyway. Seriously? This is what I love about graphics programming. It's like all like this. It was there a minute ago. You guys saw it. Maybe it wasn't to do with RenderDoc. Maybe it was just that it shows up sometimes. Maybe it was that no, it wasn't anything to do with going into the editor. Oh, don't I need to press the hotkey? Yes. So thanks for that. That shows you how aware I am right now. Okay, so it's working. I just didn't press the damn hotkey. You know what let's do? Let's set this to true, because why do I have to forget to press the hotkey? All right, this is fine. So we're just, so that we don't have to set up bone indices and crap, which we might want to do. I don't know. For now, I'm just going to do it super dumb, and we're going to let's go to so when we call refresh transform, we get this thing called object to proj matrix that projects well. If I just if I'm just going to transform these manually, then I just, for now, for 3D, I just want, the object to world matrix, and the rest of it will just happen. Because the view transform and all that, yes. How does the object to world matrix get computed? Object to world. Okay, we set it here. So we say, let's just do that. We'll say set object to world matrix, and let's downcast to entity. Right. So that we don't need a guy. We need a guy for the animation state, but we don't need a guy for stuff like setting object to world matrix to e dot position, e dot orientation, and e dot scale. That calls refresh transform. Ho! Are you kidding me? crashing. Compiler crash. Has to do with the downcast entity. Bug fix me compiler crash if this. And that's got to be just a really dumb bug because it's the sort of thing that has worked forever. We're going to have a fun compiler bug fixing stream. All right. Okay. Hey, look. It's following him around. It's jumping square by square because I used e.position and not e.visual position. So let's make the square much smaller now that we can see it. And we're going to use visual position. Hey, okay. So we're ignoring z-buffer and drawing this over him, even though it should be penetrating the mesh. But that's what we want, because we're going to draw bones on the guy. And they're inside the geometry, but we want to see them on top of the scene. So this is good. So now I'm just going to do a thing where we take his position This is weird because, okay, so I'm going to want his unrotated position. What is my default quaternion? Is it 0001 or 0000? It's 0001 ostensibly. So we're going to do the following. We're going to set to no rotation, which is and we're going to say do I have a transform point procedure? Not here, but I may in the program. Because, you know, when you put a 3D point through a 4x4 matrix, you make it homogeneous and multiply and then divide out the thing, which in this case, it's not going to be a perspective matrix, but whatever. So why is ultra search? Did like my F9 jam ultra search? What is going on? Okay, whatever. Transform point. It's just underscore point. A lot of people say underscore point. I hate not knowing what something is called. To world space. I have some functions called something like that. Okay. Why is C drive here? We don't want C drive. Okay, main. Well, whatever. I know that we have these routines because Ignacio wrote them. What are they called? They're called transform. I'm just going to look a little bit more. Transform underscore, no. Okay, that's not helpful. Shader. Transform location, that's a different thing. I don't remember. Well, that's commented out code. Maybe I'm just going to write it over again because I don't remember what it's called. Yeah, I don't know, guys. So we're just going to do it. So what was I wanting to do? I wanted to set the object to world matrix with no rotation. And then I want to take something, because I know, I mean, if I'm trying to be smart, I could try and figure out what direction the frickin' camera's in, but right now, we always know what direction the camera's in. So we want to go, you know, we want to take the guy's position. Well, plus tag offset, or name offset, v3, 0 in x, minus 0.5 in y, and 0 in z. So it's going to be, so the 0, 0, 0 for these characters is the point, you know, at the center of the square or between their feet or whatever. And so we want to put the name a little bit south of that. So what's it called again? It's called object to world matrix. So I'm going to say v4 is, well, not v4, but basically we want to take the origin of, well, let's see if we have a v4 that's this. This is so confusing. I mean, you can put your different translation elements wherever you want, and it doesn't matter. I'm just saying, okay, this matrix is going to be the guy, and then my offset is going to be here, and I'm going to say pos for prime is object to world matrix times that point. And then in theory, we have to divide out the homogeneous element, but let's just make sure that we have enough to do that. It's missing argument z. Okay, whatever. Whoa. Do I not have matrix? I have operator times for matrix vector. Look at all these operator times as I have. Did not match any of the possible. Given function, oh, times v4, not v4, times pos 4. v4 is a function. All right, so I could have some helper functions to make this nicer, but whatever. Cleanup, I am pretty sure I have a routine to transform a 3D point and get back a 3D point psi. Okay, so pos 3 prime. Wait. What am I even doing? I don't want to do this. I want to, I'm going to do this the other way. I'm still going to need this comment. But I'm going to want to go, I want to go all the way to projected screen coordinates. That's the point, because I'm drawing 2D text. So I'm going to go back to putting this here, right? And getting a, now I've got a full matrix, and this set object to world matrix gives us matrices all the way down to projection. So I've got something called object to proj matrix. So I'm going to say projected object to proj matrix times v4 0 0 0 1. That's all we're trying to do. I'm just going to print that to the console every frame. Okay. That doesn't seem right to me. Why is that? X is 1, X is 2, X is 3. These are still in world space units. Oh, because I'm rendering 2D right-handed, I want to say, when you say rendering 2D right-handed, it sets up like an ortho thing. Rendering, no, set matrix for entities gives us a projection, right? So I think, does set object to world matrix fight with that? It shouldn't. It shouldn't. Welcome to graphics programming. No, it should leave the other things there because this is all it does. Let's make sure it's not earlying out there. So this like figures out the camera and does all the stuff, man. Like that should do it. So I'm not sure where these coordinates are coming from, honestly. Why they're scaled so high. I mean, they're approximately correct, apart from being scaled so damn high. It's like about 1 unit per square, which is not what I would expect for the projection. Why? This might just be a thing where I haven't thought about it in so long that I forgot how it works or something. It's possible. But I want to put the text in the right place. Okay, wait though. The square is coming out correctly, so maybe this is the coordinate system that I'm using for whatever bizarre reason. I'm not sure why that would be. I'm pretty sure these are supposed to be left multiplied, because that's times column vectors, because that's the way I always do it. Let me, if we just ignore all this stuff and use our old matrix from the guy without modifying it by the offset, yeah, it's still scaled in this way. But I'm not sure how to convert that to coordinates we can use. Why am I using such wacky projected coordinates? By the time it gets into the shader, it must be getting renormalized. Oh, because W, I'm not dividing by W. Hello, W is 8. This is what happens when you don't do graphics programming enough. I hope somebody caught that in the chat. All right, so this is reasonable. God, I'm so stupid. All right, so here x is like negative 0.6, which seems reasonable. It's around 0. It's around plus 0.6. Yeah. Yeah, okay, that's what we expect. Okay, this is fine. And then I'm just going to say text x. Oh, well, we had this project entity position. I guess I'm not going to do, I did all that thing to do this, and I'm not going to use it now. So I'm going to say text x equals projected.x times back buffer width. Projected.x. So that's going minus 0.5 to 0.5. So you want to go plus 0.5. So now it's going, or no, it's going from minus 1 to 1. So we go times 0.5 to go to minus 0.5 to 0.5 and then plus 0.5, right? And then times back buffer width and text y times back buffer height, I think. And text x, text y are floats. X is text x, y is text y. Hey, it's following him. That's great. So we've made progress. And in this case, now we can see both of them because the text is following them. That was way more work than it should have been, but it's what happens. Like, I've been doing compiler programming and gameplay programming. I haven't been doing graphics programming in a while. Any questions about what the hell just happened there? Let's add the offset back in, because the reason I was doing this stuff was to get that offset. So now it should be like more like starting at his feet. Yeah. So you see that. I certainly could pick a better color for this. But whatever. Okay. Now I guess I'll center it. Let's center it. IX. Oh. The cast has a really tight precedence right now. I'm not sure if that's correct, but okay, that's more centered anyway. And I want this border to be bigger. Remember when I did this get shadow offset? Let's make it twice as much. Yeah, well that might be too much. No, you know what? I want it to be less, but I want it to be darker. 0.8. 0.8. No, that's not. No, that's the wrong 0.5. That's the right one. Hope people caught that. All right, that's at least a little punchier. Yeah, let's slow down time a bit. Yeah, we're walking. Ooh, inactive. Inactive to active. Yeah. Yeah. You're drawing a small amount of elements compared to the scene and guy meshes and stuff. Do you worry about performance for specific purposes, or is it just the right way to do things? So this is not only a small number of elements that I'm drawing right now in this debug thing, but it's only for developers, so you tend not to worry about performance for that kind of thing unless it becomes a hindrance to workflow, but you tend to assume that developers have pretty fast computers and stuff. So yeah, we don't tend to sweat performance of this kind of thing. Performance is for the game as players run it. Do I recommend people start with Unity or write engines from scratch like this for their first game? I would say it depends on what you want. If your interests are deeply technical, start by writing an engine. If your interests are getting a game done, start by using someone else's engine, but have a long-term plan to be able to make your own, because it's good to be able to do that. Increase outline. It could make it much more readable. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm not going to worry about it yet because the colors and all this stuff are going to change. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take another short break, and then when we come back, then instead of this cyan square that's rotating with the guy, we're going to draw the bone system so that you can see the bone system. And I'm not sure what is going to be the best way to draw that. So we will think about that a little bit. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to take a break. I'll leave this, oh, let's check this in. And then I'm going to leave this up because we're so proud of it. And also a thing for people who show up on the channel and don't know what's going on. We will say 10-minute break. When we come back, we'll visualize the bone system of animated characters. Yeah. Could it be a good idea to get all the bones, vertices, and dry lines between them and little spheres on the joint? Yes, that's exactly what we're going to do. I don't know about little spheres. I mean, we'll do cylinders for the bones. And then, like, drawing cylinders is pretty easy. Drawing spheres is a little more annoying, but maybe I'll cop some code off the net somewhere. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, I think we're back. Someone's asking why I don't use a standing developer setup. I do sometimes. So this desk that I've got is adjustable. Oh, except my monitor cable's a little loose. You know, so I can go standing if I want to. I just don't seem to want to very much these days. Okay. Now, we're going to do some bone visualization stuff. And so what I'm going to do is, we're going to start real low effort and just put a square at the position of every bone root, right? And because we've already got a square, so we'll put squares everywhere, and then once we've got that, we'll draw the actual bone connections. And I think we're going to want to do something where the bones are like one color on one end and another color on the other end, so you can tell which way they're facing, I guess. Or maybe we make arrows. Oh, the audio thing. Oh, the cache decoder. I got to fix that someday. All right, well, doesn't happen very often. Okay. So I'm out of cold tea almost. I'm going to start up a hot tea and then we'll get to work. I've been drinking a lot of cold tea today. All right. So I do not remember how to get the bone data. So let's look at that. Look for something called bones. Okay. Oh, here's my software skinning. That's fine. So we have mesh.skinning matrices. Oh, and here I was manually making a vector 4 and back projecting it. So maybe I didn't have that function. Okay, so we have skinning matrices. And I believe that puts us just into the object space of the guy. Let's just try that. Let's see if that's correct. I mean, never mind that I wrote this whole thing. I don't remember how any of it works. So, HUD, I'm going to do the following. We're going to make our quad tiny. Let's just see, let's see how tiny 0.1 is before we do anything. That's, no, that was the center. That wasn't the size. This is a, okay, 0.04. Okay, that's a little, it still might be a mess, but it's fine. So we're going to draw that at every bone root. So, for guy.mesh.skinning matrices, to draw we're going to have to look at the bone data to do the actual bones, but to just get started, let's just see. So we're going to tack the skinning matrix onto the front. And put it at 0, 0, 0. I don't know. That might be too much of a hack, but let's see what that looks like. Skinning matrices. Really? What is mesh? Oh, it's... Am I hallucinating? Mesh.skinning matrices. Did I spell it wrong? We're going to want to use this, so I'm making a short name for it. What is happening? Skinning matrices is not a member of triangle mesh. Wow. That's just because we're going to want to talk about this mesh a lot too. Oh, that's if debug software skinning. No. That's for skin vertices. Skinning matrices. There is no skinning matrices. Okay, so what's going on is this code that I'm looking at is if-deft, but it's old. It is no longer the way that things work. So let's look at some other bone thing. Let's just look at the mesh. I don't frickin' know. We have skeleton info. All right, skeleton info. Okay, right. So, skeleton mesh dot, we're going to keep making short names. Skeleton info. That's fine. So we're going to say for skeleton node info. Oh no, that's not what we want. That is not what we want. We want, because that doesn't change. We want to look on the animation player because the data on the mesh doesn't change. That's how long it's been. So, output matrices. Thank you. Output matrices on the animation player. I should have known this because I was just doing this the other day. Yeah, that incorporates the skeleton data. Well, I get there eventually. Sometimes it takes a while. So let's say for player.output matrices and just see what happens if we use that. Refresh transforms is not defined. Refresh transform. There's no S. P0, really? What? Oh, because this stuff should have gone in there. All right. Who knows if that's the... Okay, well, it's not scaled correctly. This is interesting, but we've kind of got something. I mean, I would say that we're applying matrices in the wrong order or something. You know how that goes. You know how that goes. Although I don't think we are. I don't know. It's time to just quit game programming and play knack. Because this guy's like knack, where he collects all the pieces. Well, it's certainly interesting. It's not correct. It's certainly interesting, but not correct. It's maybe not far from correct. So this whole thing that I'm doing about resetting the object to world matrix is maybe it's maybe not really a good thing to do anyway. So let's not do that. Let's get rid of that comment. That's old. Let's not do that. So now we should just see one square anyway if I do this, right? Yeah, because they're all in the same place now. So now I'm going to manually get the position because we're going to want to do that for the bone drawing anyway. So I'm going to say pause is it times v40001 pause.x divided by equal pause. That's not going to be homogeneous, so do I have a 2v3? I think I have something like that. No, whatever, man. Hey, we got the same thing. Okay, well, that's because something is happening. That's because it is meant to apply to vertex coordinates. It's been so long since I've done this. Like, I'm going to need to apply the inverse of the T-pose matrices or some crap. This is what's going to have to happen. Inverse of T-pose matrices. Let's go back to the animation player. Okay, so the output matrices are... Right, okay. Okay. This matrix basically takes us out of the T-pose, which we don't care about. So really what I want is this matrix before, the reason we do this is because then we put these matrices into the shader, and the shader just applies vertex coordinates from the mesh, and the coordinates in the mesh are in the T-pose, right? The pose with the guy with his arms sticking out. So really what I want to do is this. Let's do this. For state colon player dot current states right, and then instead of it, this is going to be the matrix M. Hey, look at that. I was actually correct. He is knack now because the pieces were flying around and he brought them in to his body. Someone call Sony, I'm making knack 3. This is the best knack. Knack 3 coming to PC. Megaton announcement. When does Knack 2 come out? Knack 2 release date, September 5th, 2017. So Knack 3 should be well underway. Call me, Mark. All right. Important question, where's my tea? That is, I was just thinking that when that came into chat. I was like, where's my tea? I'm reheating the tea water because it got a little cold. While that's happening, let's check in. svn commit-m started implementing knack 3 for the franchise megabucks. All right. Given the state of video game journalism these days, I wouldn't be surprised if some announcement actually happens that I'm working on Knack 3. I don't want to cause trouble. Someone thinks tea is bad. All right. All right, Knack 3. This is good stuff. So basically what we're doing currently is we are drawing a square at every bone position. Now I could sort of do a 2D thing. Well, I could try doing a camera-facing quad that illustrates each bone, because we're kind of drawing in 2D, and let's try that. Let's try like a camera-facing quad, because the thing is, this guy is small enough on screen. I mean, maybe I should have some camera controls for zooming in on the dude or something, but I don't know. Do I draw him in 2D or 3D? I guess we're in 3D now. Knack, how do you want to be drawn? How do you want to be drawn? Anyway. Anyway. I don't know, man. I mean, well, no matter what we do, we gotta, let's do a camera facing quad first, because we at least have to do the next step. So right now we're just drawing something at the root of every bone. But that's not showing us what things are connected to, although you can kind of guess. I mean, maybe this should just be a visualization mode, because you basically can see what things are connected to. I don't know, man. Like what? I'm not sure what is the most useful. Like, frankly, this is not the least useful thing already. I mean, you can see basically with your mind where all the bones are. But let's do it. Let's draw the connections. Let's draw the connections. So, what do I need for that? I need the skeleton info. Because the animation player is just going to have the output states, right? But the skeleton is going to have what the parents of each node are. Is that correct? Who stores parents? Wait, the skeleton doesn't have parents? And the mesh doesn't have? Who has parents? The animation. Okay. That's interesting. I mean, I guess we could have put that in the mesh. Oh God, and we have to transform from the animation node indices to the player node indices, because those are different potentially, even though they probably aren't. Okay. So, what we really want to do is the following. For every node info in the animation, just all sorts of bailout routines. So for every node info, so forget this, for info is player animation node info, right? So anim node index is the current index. Anim parent index is player animation node. Now I've got it dot parent index. Oh, okay, that's not really worth giving a name to, but whatever. And then we need to transform those into animation player indices, because those are different for some reason. Wait, do I already have this on the animation player? Mesh, parent, indices. Oh yeah, I already compute that. Oh yeah. Oh, of course I do, because we have to do all this relative to absolute thing. Okay, never mind. That was fun. That was fun, but we're going back to this. So I'm going to say index is it index. Well, parent index is player.mesh parent indices index. That is good. And then I'm just going to copy and paste code for a bit here. So I'm going to say my pause is a vector 3, parent pause vector 3, right? And oh, my T might oversteep. Oh, it's just right. It's just right. Yeah, all right. Bengal Spice can't oversteep, but this is a different T. Okay. So I can unplug my mouse now, probably. That'll be less annoying. Okay. So we're going to want to set my pause from this, right? And then we're going to want to set parent pause player.current states sub parent index, right? Oh, geez. So there we go. So we've got my pause and we've got parent pause. And okay, so now just to make sure that those are correct, before we try to actually draw the connecting line between them, let's just run this once with my pause and see that we have everything. It's not, really? Oh, because it's in the channel, right. Okay, so animation, we don't need that though. All right. Oh, array bounds check failed. We're indexing by uninitialized, line 105. So the parent index, is that -1? I don't know what that is. Parent index is -1, right? Because we may not have a parent. Duh, we may not have a parent. So if parent index is equal to -1, we deal with another thing, otherwise this. Parent pause equals my pause. All right, we're back to knack. Knack is back. Knack is back. All right. So that's fine. And if we switch this to drawing parent pause, we should also be fine. Because each node should be in there. Well, okay. There are fewer parent nodes than leaf nodes. So yeah, we see all the non-leaf nodes now. So we're getting correct positions, I claim. So now we just want to draw quads. And what I'm going to do is I sort of know the camera direction. I can get that from the entity manager. And then I can do this thing called, well, making an orthonormal basis. So you have the camera direction as one dimension, and you have the vector between the two guys as a second dimension. And then to make a quad, you need a third dimension, which you like orthonormalize those dudes. So we're going to do that. So we're going to say, bone direction is parent pause unit vector of parent pause minus my pause if length bone dir. What's a good epsilon? I don't even know. Continue. Okay. Let's see that. We should still see some guys. Yes, we do. All right. So we need the camera direction, which is going to be I could extract the let's just put it here because we want that commonly. Manager.camera.forward vector equals unit vector of look at minus viewpoint. And we're just going to go into camera. I think that's here. Forward vector, vector 3 for convenience. Okay. So we've got one vector is the bone dir, and we've got one vector is the... so I should have some function called like make an orthonormal basis. It's probably in math. Maybe that's just orthonormalize. Make an orthonormal basis. Oh, but only from one axis? Are you kidding me? Maybe I have a 2-axis version. So manips or shadow map? Let's see. Orthonormalize 2 vectors against each other. That's fine. It's not what we want exactly. Editor manips. Make an orthonormal basis off one thing. You know, if we were just drawing tubes, I could do that. But I don't. All right. Let's go into math because people might want this some other time. So I want to take so the thing is that the camera direction is not an output that we want. It's like an approximate output. So we're going to say make an orthonormal basis, x-axis, vector 3, approximate axis is vector 3, right? and we're going to get a y and z. So we're just going to cross the approximate axis by the x-axis, which gives us the y-axis, right? And then the z is x cross y, and we return yz. So that's very simple. Actually, so vy, vz make an orthonormal basis from bone dir and camera manage, what is it? Let's copy it out. Camera forward, e.entity manager.camera.forward vector, right? Something like that. Where was my making ortho bone dir? Camera forward, right? Hey. So we're still not drawing anything, but you know, we're getting there. Now that we have this, so the bone direction is the x-axis. And the y-axis is the side direction that's orthogonal to the camera now. So what we want to do is say thickness. What is the thickness? Thickness in world units, I don't know, man. So take the parent position. No. So instead of my P0, P1, P2, P3 being a square, I'm going to say, I'm going to make a thing called strut, which is a sideways strut, which is Vy times B, right? So P0 is my pos minus strut. P1 is my pos plus strut. P2 is parent pos plus strut. P3 is parent pos minus strut. So that gives us a thing facing the camera in 3D. And I don't know, man, that might do it. He's not knack anymore. He is not knack. These aren't facing the camera reliably, so I don't know what I screwed up there. Because they should be approximately constant thickness no matter which way he's facing, and they aren't. But it almost worked, so that's fine. What is this guy now? Is he like the Tron guy? He's not knack anymore. Do. Okay, wait. The y vector, maybe my camera vector is wrong for some reason. The y vector is the cross product of the camera with x. Oh, duh. But so the problem is that we're drawing this in a place that has rotation, right? So we're rotating these by the guy's orientation, which you can see as he moves a little bit. I mean, I know they're 2D, but see that? So, you know, we're trying to make a vector that faces the camera, but it's using the orientation of the dude. So, nah. So what we really want is not to set the object to world matrix at all. Or I don't know, I mean, so we've proven that we've got the right coordinate. Let's check that in. Okay, so there's a bit of a difference in philosophy now depending on where I go. If I want to draw bones as literally as 2D camera facing things, if I want to continue with this camera facing way of doing it, then I do something funny and go outside the matrix of the guy and all that. But if I want it to be not camera facing, if I want to actually draw them in full 3D, which I might want to do because maybe we put nice shaders on them later and stuff, and if I'm going to do that, then you really want to keep the full transform and just draw tubes and spheres or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of not that motivated to make it nice right now unless I know what we really want to know about it. Like, it may be more important for the animator to see the guy closer, for example. I don't know. I mean, maybe this is enough for now, and I just ask him what would be the right thing to do. Oh, he did say, wanting to be able to see the mesh as well. So, you know what I might do is I'll put I can have separate toggles. I can have separate toggles. So, because the thing is, I'm not done displaying animation information. So I'm drawing the state machine state that he's in, but I am not drawing the mixture of animations that are happening in the animation player that are actually being blended. So we want to draw that. So I can make the animation HUD normally just that state information, and then the whoops. The other stuff can be on separate toggles, right? So I'm thinking debug draw animation skeleton and debug draw animation mesh are separate things, and I'm just going to make more stupid functions for this, and we'll clean it up later. Skeleton and mesh. Like that. And I'll say Shift F9 toggles the skeleton, and Control F9 toggles the mesh. We might have a better visual way of doing that with like some buttons and stuff that you do in the future. But that is how that's going to be. And then here we will say if debug draw animation skeleton. All right, so there we go. Oh, except we're also using this to get the position, so the text is going to the wrong place. That's no good. So text X is projected. Projected comes from the object to world matrix. You get visual position. Why would that? Oh, wait. Like that. All right. So I can toggle that off and the text stays up. That's great. Let's get the mesh in there. Now, in the editor, we already can draw the mesh of the guy. So we should just be able to turn that on, and it'll be no problem. How? Draw selection. Draw selection. Where is that? Draw selection. Draw. Okay. Most of this is just about picking the color because the selection color strobes. So we're going to say draw animated guy meshes, right? And that's just going to be keyed to although, you know, I can just put that in here. Why not? Because nobody else is going to want this. Did I put manager in? No. Okay, so draw animated guy meshes. Oh. Draw selection is what we're cribbing from. So again, we set the selection shader. We set our GL polygon mode. The one advantage to OpenGL is you can use GL polygon mode. You can't do that in DirectX, at least not older DirectX. I don't know about now. So we get this is the thing that lets us set the color. And I'm going to say the color V4 red, blue, full alpha. So we do that for manager by type dot guide draw mesh entity it. I've got this hack apparently. Okay. So I've got to actually set this. Oh no, I did. All right. Maybe that actually works. Control F9. Was it Control F9? Doesn't appear to be doing anything. Hate it when I get an extra window in my list. Well, it claims to be drawing the mesh, so yeah, something's wrong. Something's wrong. So we set matrix for entities, set shader, blah, 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 blah. When is this called during the frame? Draw selection. I don't know, man. This might be a render doc situation. Has anyone in the stream seen me do something boneheadedly wrong? People are talking about Netflix in the chat. So obviously what I'm doing is compelling. Yeah. Nobody in the chat cares about programming. That's fine. Okay. Why is this not appearing? Let's ask RenderDoc. Why not? Why did I close RenderDoc? Because it means I have to do this. All right. So I believe that variable is set to true, right? Yeah, so it claims it's doing it. So I'm going to print screen, capture, look over here. What the hell is that? That must be here. Well, RenderDoc says it's there. Oh, God. Right, it's not skinned. And we definitely need this to be skinned. So I need to set the shader to not be shader selection. I need it to be, this is going to be interesting. So it needs to be a shader that skins things. Does draw guy at set the shader? I think it might. Yeah, I mean, mesh draw sets the shader anyway. So first of all, I don't even know why I'm setting it. Second of all, I don't know why he's not skinned in that case. Third of all, I don't know why he's not showing up. In my non-render doc situation. Probably some kind of shader setting. It's annoying. Okay, but if we're not, oh, that's what the hack doing shader is for. Okay. Here's what we need to do. We need to go back to using shader selection. So this hack drawing selection is probably to prevent us from resetting the shader. Yeah, see? Like this renderer is not the sleekest thing for sure. So the problem is that the selection shader doesn't understand skinning. So I'm going to do the Uber shader thing like I'm doing with everything else and just make it blah, blah, blah. So right now I'm just trying to draw, for the person asking what's going on, I'm just trying to draw the wireframe successfully for a skinned guy. And I thought before, oh, that should be easy because I already draw wireframes. But I draw wireframes in the editor and they don't skin, and you can't tell because this guy's in his default pose anyway. But even if this guy were animating, I don't believe that the wireframe would track him. So I need to change the way that the shader works. The shader is called selection. Yeah, so this is like its own whole giant thing that's from before. And really what I want to do is go to, what's a different one? Like Mirage shader is, so I do this thing, because GLSL sucks, you have to do your own includes and everything. So I wrote an include system a while back, and I just include other stuff. So we won't need noise, we just do that. And the whole shader file is just this. And then my skin 3D just has a ton of if-defs. So now the selection, the thing about drawing selection is that we need to use the color, and we need to define that color. So where was it? Where was it? It was in HUD. Selection color. So if-def drawing selection in the pixel shader, not the vertex shader, in the fragment shader, we need a uniform vec for, I guess I'll put it there, because that's where all this other stuff is. Uniform vec for whatever it was called. Selection color. And then down here, I need to say that the output color output color.xyz equals, well, no, output color equals selection color. And we'll do that at the end. Welcome to the joy of shaders. I should call it doing and not drawing, but whatever. Who knows what's going to happen? Well, it still didn't work. Congratulations. Does the editor selection work? Yes, it does still. That's very interesting. Unfortunately, hot loading for shaders doesn't work right now because of the includes. We don't hot load all the dependencies. And almost everything's a dependency on this. So that's interesting. So it still works. Let me just make sure. So that should give us a fully red selection. Yes. So it's using this shader code to draw the thing. So why the hell doesn't it work? For the other thing. That is what I have to ask you. Let's see what RenderDoc says about this. Launch. Okay, wait. That's old and it's not giving me a new one. Is this from the new? Ugh. Let's just try again. I guess that was a correct new log file. I don't know. RenderDoc, get your house in order. All right. Why I have 3 passes, I don't even know. I guess that's the 2D, this is the 2D pass, right? So, well, it says it's skinning it correctly. So there's some piece of state that is not quite correctly initialized, such that RenderDoc is doing the right thing and GL is not doing the right thing. But it's at least good news that the coordinates are coming out in the right place and stuff. So it must just be pipeline state of some kind. It's not Vertex related. There's no scissor. I don't understand what I'm even supposed to be looking at on this screen. It's like, it's not helpful. I don't know. I don't know what it's trying to get me to look at. Blend weights. Wait. Okay, this input things. Yep, those are all valid. The outputs are valid. Shadow UVs, I don't know why those are in the Vertex format, but whatever, they shouldn't be used. World normal. Okay, that could be generating NANs. Do we even use that? Why is the world normal NANs? Does that happen during the regular rendering of the guy? Let's look at the regular rendering of the guy. like down here. Okay, those are nans as well, and that guy actually, wait, what? What am I looking at? This is in pass 3. Am I drawing this twice? Like, what is even happening? So this is the wireframe in pass 3. Yeah, I don't think I'm supposed to have 3 passes. No, okay. I don't know what, this UI is just jumping around as I click on stuff in confusing ways. Okay, that's the shadow map. So shadow map, 3D scene, 2D situation. So we're not rendering extra stuff. I don't know what the hell this UI is doing. Okay, so in the 3D scene, in pass 2, there's a time when we draw the guy, and it's here, right? Yeah, see, so like he's disappearing and appearing, and if I look in the mesh, world normals are set at that time. Okay, what's happening is I believe my vertex format is not set to the right thing. How do I tell what the vertex format is here? Like, how do I know? Okay, so we have position, normal, UV, blend weights, blend indices, all enabled. Okay, and then in pass 3, they are not enabled. Okay, so not enough information is coming through. So I would have thought that draw guy at would have done that, but let's do this. So this is the S is the skin shader, and the all right. Well, it's still not appearing. Let's do a new cap, a new Captain America. And, well, it says it's appearing. Maybe that's not the right vertex format? I don't know. Dude, this interface is the worst. Just, how do I close? I want to unambiguously be looking at the new thing. Like, what even is wrong with you? Okay, whatever. I guess this is the new thing. It's not, sometimes it gives me screenshots with date and times to pick from, and sometimes it doesn't. And why it does one or the other, I have no idea, except that whoever wrote this does not like users. All right. So we should look at pipeline state. It's still set to the wrong thing. Why? Maybe because the selection hack is setting it to the wrong thing? Because it's not, let's see who pays attention to that. Is anyone in OpenGL drawing selection? No. So it's the contagion is limited. Scroll speed. That's really the only thing. Why is the Vertex format this is not even either of the Vertex format. This is position, weights, and indices. Which certainly has no normals. When is that getting set? Somewhere here. So here's my enable for. Enable 0. So that's going to be 0. Oh, because we don't have color scale loc, normal loc. Because the shade, oh, I hate shader authors. I've been on a wild goose chase for 15 minutes. Because there's no way to tell OpenGL, look, I'm trying to debug and understand my program. Will you please not do stupid crap to it? The stupid crap that it did was, this makes me so angry because I've wasted so much time in my life about this stuff. The stupid crap that GL just pulled on me is it says, oh, you're assigning output color to selection color. So anything else that went into the computation of output color gets optimized away. Including, oh, that's the only reason you wanted the normals. So let's get rid of the normals. And let's not just get rid of computing the normals, let's get rid of the entire data where the normals are stored so that there's no slot to put them in, and then your program, in order to not to error, has to not activate that vertex stream, right? So it's actually, I guess, in theory correct that the normals are nan, because there's no way to set them, because they don't exist in the shader, and there's no way for me to tell OpenGL for them to exist, unless I do something like the following. I hate OpenGL in many ways, and this is one of the ways. So we're going to say mix output color to selection color by 0.95, okay? So we're still using some of the output color, so it had better not optimize anything away. And now I'm just going to run renderdoc, and I'm going to see that the right vertex format is there. And I'm going to be very angry now. I'm going to be very angry. Is this the right one? 43? Yeah. I don't know why it does that sometimes and not other times. Okay, color pass 3. Wait for it. Wait for it. Pipelines. Oh, look at all that. Look, my program magically sets all this pipeline state now. OpenGL is so programmer hostile. It is amazing. They just don't understand how people debug and understand programs. And they should all be fired immediately with no performance review. This was the performance review, and you guys flunked it. So that whole debugging trail that I was just on was a wild goose chase. So I still don't know the actual problem. All right. Why did I switch fonts? Because I like Carmina a lot, and it annoys everybody else, so I'm trying to use it less. Someone says the optimizing away is an implementation thing, right? Well, it doesn't matter because no implementation should be allowed to do what just happened. It should simply not be permitted. If I have a declaration in my program saying that this variable exists, that variable must exist as far as I'm concerned. You're not allowed to take it out. So stupid. Someone's saying, how do you make a unique orthonormal basis with just one vector? Well, you just get to pick arbitrarily the other two vectors, right? Because they can rotate around that vector. And all you need is to start with like a seed vector that's not numerically ill-conditioned. So, I just pick either the x, y, or z axis based on like whichever one has the smallest dot product or something. I forget exactly what I do, right? But you just pick one of the axes that's the best numerically conditioned against your vector, because your vector can't point along all three axes at once, and then you normalize that against the vector, and then you use that to generate a third vector, is one way to do it. So the wireframe with the arms sticking out, or the pose with the arms sticking out, that's just a way that animators like to rig things, because you can like see under the arm, and I don't know, like the shoulders are tweaky areas. Like if you don't weight them properly, they look really weird. So that's a way of kind of flexing the shoulder a little bit too, I guess. Okay, that makes me so mad that we're going to take another 5-minute break, and then we're going to come back. So if you've seen, the reason I'm so angry at OpenGL so often, if you've seen these streams the past few days, I've just been cranking and getting a great deal done on all this animation functionality, because I'm in a universe where I'm able to get information about what's happening, right? And it's not cryptic, and it's not doing things behind my back because it's my own code. As soon as I try to talk to OpenGL, you could spend hours and hours and hours just rat-holing on the stupidest things. And it's such a giant waste of time. Your productivity just drops through the floor. And it's been that way forever, and as far as I can tell, nobody in charge of OpenGL cares. So, 5-minute break. Well, I feel like break time is over, and I still don't know how to debug OpenGL. Like, I literally just don't know what to do because RenderDoc says it's there. So it's not a problem with Vertex coordinates in any way. It's something about buffer state or shader state or blend state. I don't freaking know. I don't freaking know. And there's no, I can't like step through what's actually happening in any way. Right? I could step through the shader in theory, but that would just be RenderDoc running the shader. And RenderDoc runs the shader successfully. So I wouldn't find the problem in that case. I don't think. Look at how crappy that is. Software. All right. I mean, I can just stare at pipeline state to see if I see anything. Why is alpha to coverage turned on? I don't think that would matter. Cull mode doesn't really matter. I should set that to none, but we would see either the back or the front of the mesh, so that's, as long as depth test, oh, where's my, so depth clamp, where's the depth test? Is anyone, can anyone tell me where the depth test is? Blend factor, depth state enabled. Okay, it could be z-fighting in theory, because we're not setting polygon offset or anything. Or are we? I guess we would see, so there was something about polygon offset here. If we're not drawing selection, if it's a decal. All right, well, let's disable depth test. So where was that? That was in HUD. I'm going to disable depth test and enable. Welcome to OpenGL of randomly hey, look! It was just z-fighting. Welcome to OpenGL of random bullshit everywhere. All right, well, that's fine. It's not particularly readable, but whatever. Why not Vulkan? In part because I don't want to have to learn new stuff while I'm trying to do this stream or trying to get this game done. We'll switch the renderer to something eventually because I doubt we'll ship an OpenGL renderer. But it's like I'm just trying to get along with OpenGL while, you know what I'm saying. So I'm kind of tired right now. This is not everything to do for this series of streams. I feel like I'm going to take a break for a few hours, and then later tonight I'll come back and we'll make this output where it says state active under the guy. We'll make that more involved and show the actual animation player state. That's not going to be very hard. It's going to be a lot easier than the skinned OpenGL stuff we've been dealing with. So that's fine. And I don't think we're going to make the skeleton nicer right now because I think I want to talk to the animator and talk about how, what he needs for that to work, because I feel like making it nicer is not that helpful if the camera's this far out, but I'm not sure what's a good way of bringing the camera in. So we may do a future stream where we upgrade that. All right, so that is going to be it for this stream for now. And thanks for coming by and listening to the OpenGL rant song. Any idea about next stream time? I don't know. I mean, I'm tired. I've been streaming for 4+ hours today and programming, so that's a lot already. And that's if you don't even count the morning stream of 45 minutes. It's been like 5 hours of streaming today, I think. So has it really been that long? I don't know. Anyway, and like this wireframe, I'm not sure how useful it's going to be unless we get some other kind of visibility into it, because it just looks like a mess of triangles to me. So yeah, there's going to have to be a consultation phase. But we will finish this part of the series maybe in a few hours, or I don't frickin' know, later today. Later today. Hey. All right, thanks everybody. See you later.